Hi there, I'm Yashika Graham. Welcome to Up Close and Personal. As you well know, every episode we bring you your cool personalities. And this episode, we bring you not one, but two of your cool favorites. The dynamic duo that brings you cool alternatives on Saturday mornings, Lisa Rowe and Richie Clarke. Welcome to Up Close and Personal. Awesome. So let's start at kind of the beginning. Where did you grow up and where did you go to school?
I am from Mineral Heights in Mapen, Clarendon, and I have to state that because I'm a proud country girl.
Nice.
I went to Mineral Heights Primary, then Glenmuir High School. So I'm a Clarendon girl.
The Glenmuir.
The Glenmuir High School. You cannot leave that out, right? It's the Glenmuir High School.
How about you, Richie?
I went to Harborview School, and then I moved to George's, Meadowbrook. Grew up in Meadowbrook and still live in Meadowbrook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. STGC.
Yes.
All right. So our cool listeners will be very used to both of you on their Saturday mornings inside Cool Alternatives. And a little birdie and a big birdie says that this is the cup of coffee in the morning. Why do you call this show the cup of coffee?
If you look in our chat room, you will see that everybody is buzzing. Mm-hmm. You know, obviously we are their caffeine. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's amazing how excited they get with the music, you know? And so that's why...
So you get them up early.
And they maintain that energy throughout for the entire show, and just think it's an early morning show, and they have that energy. We said, okay, we're their early morning cup of coffee. Yes.
I love that about our cool listeners. They're with, it's like they're at work with you and they're just going. So Lisa, what is it about being a media personality for you that gets you up in the morning?
Oh, wow. Well, I love what I do. I'm very passionate about media and communication. That's why I studied it. So this is something that I absolutely love. Yeah. And I think what I love most about it, so I've been able to benefit from working, I call it two sides of the coin as a journalist. So I've worked in quote unquote hard news, and I also work at Cool, where it's more like a lifestyle type of station. Right, yeah. And so for one side, I want people to be informed, and I like when people know exactly what's happening in their country and for them to take part in what's happening in their country. And I think sometimes as Jamaicans we can be very nonchalant about news and current affairs. Yeah. So I love that I'm able to inform people. On the flip side of Cool, I like the fact that people wake up with me and they use or show as just that spark at the beginning of a morning, to know that you put a smile on somebody's face. Yeah. And you know, sometimes people call when we're doing the show and they'll say, listen, you guys keep me going, and that is very rewarding. It's rewarding to know that you contribute to making somebody's life better. And it ties in very well with something I always say, which you try to be better than you were the day before. And to know that you're able to bring life and light to somebody's life is very rewarding. Yeah. So that's what I love.
There is such purpose in that, and a good balance too, with the hard news and the lifestyle. Have to, and I think it's important that we have, especially young people, being so passionate about both of those angles as well. So, Richie Clarke, Mr. DJ, how long have you been a DJ?
I actually started in 1970. And I played throughout the 70s, right up to 1982. Took a pause for 1 decade due to family. Yeah. I had 2 kids, and I mean, we had to really focus on that, because prior to that I was playing out a lot, you know, sometimes five nights a week. And so I just took a break, got back in 1992. And has been doing it from that. Okay,
nice. Lisa, you... so you're in media and communication, but you've also done modeling and pageants and that kind of thing. What led you to that place, and what do you enjoy about it, or what did you enjoy about participating in those?
So back when dinosaurs roamed the earth. Joke. But, so I've been in media and communication for about 10 years, because I used to work while I was at school. And in terms of pageants and theater, So I have been entertaining my family since I was about 2-3 years old.
For free.
Wow.
For free. They had proper concerts, and I was a headliner, right? So I've been entertaining my family, and I loved performing arts. I love drama, I love theater, I love all of that. And so I was able to just really get involved in pageants because people thought I looked pretty. At the time, I didn't believe them. And I said, you know, I think you should enter. And I guess because of how I represented myself. And so I think my first pageant was in high school. I entered Miss Glenmuir and I won.
Wow.
Yes, she did. Yes.
Yes.
And then after that, I think I'd entered Miss UE, then I entered Miss Jamaica Western, then I entered Miss Jamaica World. And I really enjoyed all my experiences. You know, you'll hear horror stories of pageant girls being mean. That was not my case. And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that I want world peace. But I had a great experience because I had a very, very good crop of girls in Miss Jamaica World in 2011. That year, Daniel Crosskill won. But we still maintain a relationship. We text each other from time to time and check in. We had a good rapport. And so from that, I leapfrogged into modeling. Not hardcore modeling like the ones with Vogue and no. But you know, I did modeling. I did commercial modeling, and so I continued into theater as well. And I enjoyed all experiences, and I think it helps also with being a journalist because you're able to pull from. Because sometimes when you're on radio, you know, when you have to almost you're putting on a show, and that performance element has to come out to take people on a journey. So you bring them up here, and then you kind of peter off.
And the composure.
Right.
Yeah.
The composure, the composure under pressure. Can I tell you?
Okay, so for both of you now, I'm curious about what you enjoy about being a cool personality and a cool DJ. And we're gonna start with you, Richie. What do you enjoy about being a cool personality in particular? And you've been in music and been a DJ since the 1970s. So what is it about cool?
Well, cool DJs cover the spectrum. We play, I mean, yes, we're mature music, but we also can go right up to new music. And I'm somebody who is passionate about music. And my collection spans from the 50s to now. And so cool gives me the range to be able to expose rare music, popular music, all the different genres of music. And you know, it's not many other stations that has the breadth of cool. You know?
It's like a library or a museum.
Right. Yes.
Right.
How about you, Lisa?
I think it's almost similar to what Richie said, except I'm not selecting the music. I make suggestions. I said, Richie.
Yeah.
So I'll make suggestions to Richie because we try to do features in our show.
Right.
So I'll make suggestions to Richie. You know, Richie, I think we should do a feature that focuses, and I put him. Because I put him under pressure. But I said, Richie, I think we can focus on bands, or I'll say, why not do a feature about covers by X, Y? And so, you know, you're allowed that freedom to play with people's ear. Being a cool personality is very different from being a journalist, I must say, because the cool listeners, they almost adopt you as family. You know, and sometimes, because when I had my son, they call and they congratulate me. I say, yes, we didn't wonder where you're there. You know, that type of, it's like, wow, they're really tracking, you know, they're really following. So it's a different experience, but it's quite rewarding, as I'd said before. You're able to contribute to someone's entire mood. And to know that someone may be going through a difficult period, and just the songs that you selected or just an encouraging word that you said, you were able to uplift them. So that's what I like most about it, because as a journalist, you're basically bringing not the best news, so it's different.
Okay, all right, thank you. Richie, how do you feel about the current generation of music? You've witnessed so much, you know, through time. What do you think about what we are having coming out in the past few years and in the present?
Well, I'll say this. A lot of the mature persons have a negative view about the current music. And don't get me wrong, there is good and bad and indifferent in the current crop of music. But when you really check it, going all the way back, there's good, bad, and the ugly in every period. You know, I saw an album that said that, you know, all this gun lyrics and this badmanism must stop because it is ruining the country, and that was a ska album of 1967. You know, so yes, you have each generation has they adjust to the music of their time, and the generation before would be like, what is that, you know? But if you really listen to it, if you really get into it, you will find that there is good music there, just like music from the 70s or 80s, 90s or 2000s.
Thank you for that point, actually. And on the point of music across generations, what would you say is your favorite, if you have one, favorite genre of music? I know that's a rough question, but go ahead.
I love some old school R&B, like some Aretha, Anita. Love Anita Baker, 1986 album Rapture. Oh, yes. Yeah, her voice is like butter. So I really love R&B. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but R&B is my thing. I love reggae, right? But there are certain, I'll admit, Richie schools me a lot on reggae, based on the nature of our show. It's Jamaican music. So Richie schools me a lot, but I learn every time I come to the show. So I've adopted reggae even more. So I love R&B and reggae.
It's the magic of cool. So what about you, Richie?
Well, I'm a 70s baby, but because I'm a musicologist, I play all the genres and I love all of them. I would have an emphasis on 70s, 80s, with 60s as well, but I love 90s as well. I love 2000, you know.
So you have been playing music for so long. You're a baritone DJ. You've played for the deck for so very long, and you've been playing for radio for a long time as well. If I could ask the difficult question of if you could lock down one of those areas, play for radio or play live for people, what would you choose if you could choose? And of course, you can resist my question.
Well, I choose to resist the question because they both help each other, you know. When you're on radio, you don't have the immediate feedback. Yes, you have. Fortunately now, you have the internet that you can see, the chat room and so, that you can see some of the feedback. But radio will be more like the phone getting quiet. Back in the day before we had the internet, the phone getting quiet was your cue that you weren't doing so well, you know. But because you're in the studio, you could zone out and don't realize that your music is not affecting people. And so when you play out and you see how songs impact people, you know, that helps you when you're on radio.
You can kind of gauge what you do in the radio. If I were to stretch this to say what advice you'd give then to up-and-coming DJs, would it be along those lines?
Would be along those lines, because one of the things that playing live teaches you is the flow of music is important. And there's a new aspect of DJing that has been coming out over the last decade or so. Back in the day, you play by period. So you don't jump around. You don't play a 2000 song with a 70s song and then a 90s song, you know. That's the abstract form of DJing. Some DJs do it very well, but it's prone to more problems because it's so it can be jarring when you're listening to a rock steady and then you hear a chronics behind it, and you know, it can be jarring. But I mean, some people have the talent to do it, many people don't.
Thank you. So, Lisa, you spoke earlier about being a mother. And even from looking outside, one can tell that media communication, those are demanding areas. And one can also tell motherhood is a very demanding area of work. One that demands that you're on your toes, but you're also grounded at the same time. How do you balance those things, and what keeps you excelling in each of those areas?
Well, so I say that I have 2 full-time jobs and a part-time job. I do have a 9 to 5. I do have a 9 to 5, and then I have my baby, you know, and I work at KOOL, and I'm a wife. Yeah. So, you know, it really, let me tell you, as it relates to motherhood, I would encourage other mothers, and I say it to myself a lot, don't be too hard on yourself. There is no manual, and you just have to remind yourself that you're doing the absolute best that you can, and you should always do the absolute best that you can. So if you're spending time with your child, so if I'm spending time with my baby, I try to give him 100% of my energy.
It's a lot of energy.
He takes it all.
He takes it
because
all.
he's, I don't know what we feed him. He's a high energy child. And so you try to give it 100%. And just be reminded of what is most important. And I try my best to make sure that when I'm at work, I give it 100%. I do it to the best of my ability, because I believe what I do is a reflection of my faith and a reflection of also my family. So I'm very big on making sure if I'm doing something, it's done well. You know, it has to be of high standard, high quality. And then as soon as I'm finished with work, I shut down that side of me and I'm into, okay, it's my baby time, us. You know, so I try. I mean, it's not something that I've mastered. I'm still working at it. I'm new to it. But I enjoy motherhood. I enjoy it. Nothing sweeter than a little hand in the morning, not saying mama. Not yet. We're working on that. But I really couldn't be able to do everything without the support of my husband. Like, he is, he's my backbone, you know. So when I need to get up early to come to KOOL, he's with my son, because in Pitney, you know. So, you know, but he's very, very supportive. And I think that's what allows me to be able to excel in both areas, having a supportive husband.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
They support the program from even before.
It's true.
Exactly.
He would be kicking in the womb. And there's one particular song that he absolutely loves. And I couldn't believe that the child remembered the song from the womb. It's remember the Ziggy Marley. Tomorrow people. He could be having the worst day. You put on that Ziggy and him just go like,
oh, that's awesome.
Yes. So he loves the show.
Okay. All right. So just to wrap up, as we're having so much fun here, I spoke to you earlier about the creation of a vibe to disperse to other people, to send it out to them, to wake them up and give them all this goodness. But what is happening in studio? You know I've heard that you are a 3-step man, you know. You have not denied it thus far. I want to know if you are also a dancer. What is the dance energy between the Richie and the Lisa duo?
Well, the 3-stepping, I've gotten favorable comments.
Reviews.
The bones.
Some women have said, you know, they like how I 3-step.
Lord of mercy.
It's not anything that I have studied to learn or anything. It came naturally, but I enjoy the fact that, you know, people think that I didn't think so.
Such humility, Richie. How about you, Lisa?
Looks, I'm a skanker, yeah?
Yeah, the little...
like, you know, you go to the dance and you see that one little Rasta man sitting in the corner and him just have a little vibe.
Right.
That's me.
What I love about that kind of dancing is you can do it to anything.
Hey gosh, any song.
You just look like you're the best dancer.
Any song.
Right.
Any song. Especially when it's, I say, Richie.
Black Hura and them.
Listen.
gets her going.
The anthem. That's my song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Listen.
the whole chat room know it, you know.
No, serious. They said, Lisa song I play. I'm like, yes, you know.
So awesome. I just love that we are able to send the music and the energy out, but also have fun in the studio. And that is what I'm feeling for Cool Alternative.
I remember playing one morning and a friend of mine called me and said, Richie, 3 cars that have set in them park up with the back open and blasting the whole community.
Wow.
Yeah.
And cool.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, they're playing our show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not uncommon.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's beautiful to hear and to observe when it's happening.
Yeah, man.
Well, thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Richie,
Thank
for
you.
speaking to us today on Up Close and Personal. It has, of course, been another insightful episode of Up Close and Personal here on KOOL97 TV. I'm Yashika Graham, and I have been speaking with Lisa Rowe and Richie Clarke. They bring you your favorite tunes inside Cool Alternatives, Saturdays, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. And you can catch them on KOOL97FM for more of the music you love. I'm Yashika Graham. Thanks for watching.